What's going on YouTube? It's the Trolley Boy here, back again with, this time, a Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shiny playthrough. So I couldn't get my hands on a ROM for this game, so what I did instead was, on my previous playthrough, I caught all the shiny Pokemon that you're going to see throughout this gameplay. I caught them, and this time, after the first gym, I'm just going to import and trade them all over. So, I went ahead and chose Turtwig, because by choosing Turtwig, that would mean my rival would choose Chimchar, thus making it harder on myself when you see my up-and-coming team. So I went ahead and just chose Turtwig, skipped through all the first sequence of the video, and I resumed it right here at the first gym, so that way y'all wouldn't miss on seeing a gym. And then after we get finished with this gym, I will then trade over all my Pokemon, and then we can go over my team, who they are, and why they're here. So hopefully in the future, when making videos like this, I will be able to get a ROM and we won't have to go through all this, but for the time being, I just made do with what I had. So I actually caught / hatched all these Pokemon myself in my previous game. I had never had a shiny yet, or shiny before, so I went ahead and caught my first one using the Poke Radar. Once I caught it, I was like, these are really awesome. I would love to do a full gameplay using nothing but shinies, but without spending 500 hours trying to find them in the middle of the run. So this is what I decided to do, and I hope you guys like it. So we got the badge. We went ahead and traded our Pokemon. This is who we got. We got Gecko, the Treecko, because he's a gecko, and I just loved his shiny form. We have Nightwing, the Murkrow, Sparks, the Shinx, Hulk, the Machop, Blue Flare, the Ponyta, and Rocky, the Geodude. So the reason I chose these specific Pokemon are because A, either their sprites when shiny are really cool, or B, I just have some sort of emotional connection with them. So Shinx, for instance, the black and gold looks cool, and also I've had him on the majority of my Sinnoh playthroughs. Treecko, I chose him because I feel like he's a very underrated starter. He's very good, and I just felt like giving him a Sinnoh playthrough would just bring out his strengths really well. Blue Flare, Ponyta's always been one of my favorites, and he looks really cool with the blue, so I went ahead and chose him. So as you can see, come over to help this little girl at the Valley Windworks. We go ahead and fight this grunt. And so he's challenging us in order to keep us from getting in Valley Windworks. He sends out a Glameow, we send out Gecko, and now let's see how we do in our first battle. So, as you can see, I have Leaf Storm as a move. I told myself I was going to try my best to not use this move, at least through the early part of this gameplay, because to me it just wasn't fair to have a level 13 with a 130 power stab move. So, I, for the most part, refrained from using it if possible. You'll see me use it a couple of times throughout, but few and far between. And so, one of the main twists of this playthrough that I didn't think about beforehand was, as you're seeing now in this battle, was the obedience versus disobedience of the Pokemon that are traded in. So, as you can see, they like to loaf around, disobey, or sometimes they'll even put themselves to sleep. So that is just another thing that we had to, another bit of adversity we fought through during this playthrough, up until a certain point, until we got the correct number of gym badges for all of our Pokemon to obey us. So after defeating this Team Galactic grunt at the Windworks, the doors are locked, so we ran over here, saved this man from these two grunts, beat him pretty handedly, and then we arrived back after collecting the key. Put the key in the door. The grunt is stunned. He's like, how'd you get in here? So we stopped by the vending machine, got us a quick bit of drink, and then we went and fought the Team Galactic Commander with her stylish red hair. So of course they lead out with Zubat. I, for some reason, led with Hulk, even though it's not very smart. So I went ahead and swapped into Sparks, so we can hopefully take out the Zubat pretty easily. He's going to use Supersonic, go ahead and confuse us. So that's not good. He uses U-turn, returns back, and so we'll be fighting this Perugly. So we had to fight through the confusion. We ended up hitting with a Thunder Shock. It did very minimal damage. So I ended up decided to switch out into Rocky. I figured maybe get a couple Rock Tombs off, slow their speed. Hopefully that'll help the other teammates. So he uses Fake Out, makes us flinch, so we do nothing. Next turn, lowers our attack, our Rock Tombs miss. Next turn, lowers our attack again. Our Rocky turns away. So this is now 3 turns in a row of useless. So he finally connects with a Rock Tomb, does little to no damage, but he does lower the speed, which is very helpful. So we bring in Hulk so we can hit it with a low sweep and try and lower its speed again. It's going to hit us with a growl, lower our attack. He turns away, uses Scratch this time. He pretended not to notice. And so hopefully third time's a charm. We use low sweep and he didn't notice. So as you can see, we're stocked up on potions throughout the early portion of this gameplay for this exact reason, because I know I'm going to go through and deal with this a lot. So I just went ahead and preemptively bought them. So we go ahead and risk it with a low sweep. They scratch and I faint. So we go to bring in Geico here, and we are going to use a Leaf Storm, even though I don't like to use it. I didn't see another way to defeat this Perugly, because it's very, very bulky and has lowered all my Pokemon's attacks to this point, and with the Disobedience, just went for it. Of course, I missed, and then I use it again, connects, gets them to about a third health left, but it uses a berry, so it's almost at half. So I went ahead and used Leaf Storm again, but Geico faints. So then I switch in Nightwing, which that purple looks very awesome as well. He turns away the first turn. So I went ahead and tried to hit a wing attack again, but he turns away again. Perugly continues to lower our attack, and finally, after 4 times, I use a wing attack that does little to no damage. So once again, Perugly takes another victim and Nightwing goes down. So I'll switch in Blue Flare and see if she can come in and finish the job. So she doesn't obey the first turn, does the second time, hits, doesn't kill, but our speed raises, and we hit him with the Ember, and it's still not enough. Perugly hangs on very little health, but the second Ember does take her out. We got super lucky there that Blue Flare actually listened to us 3 turns in a row. That was pretty clutch. So as they're leveling up, Sparks learned Spark, which is a pretty big upgrade over Thundershock, and now she's going to bring in her Zubat. So I'm going to switch to Sparks again in order to take out the Zubat. That's another part of the Disobedience. They will randomly fall asleep. So Sparks comes in, he falls asleep. Zubat uses Supersonic. I avoided it, luckily. He uses it a second time, this time not so lucky, so I do become confused. Third time, I woke up, fought through the confusion, landed the Spark, and OHKO'd him. So finally, we have defeated Commander Mars. Sparks evolves after that battle into a Luxray. And I really love the black and gold design here. I just think the contrast of the colors pops very well. Another reason why I chose him for our squad. So we arrive at the Viridian Forest, and we take Cheryl, and we're going to escort her through the forest. So I'm just going to speed run through here, battle the trainers, pick up some items. And just get through here as quick as we can. Find a jar of honey, and now we're done. Our adventure with Cheryl is done. So then we come to Eterna City, meet up with Cynthia. And then we head to face Coconut Head from Nancy Classified, because that's exactly who this gym leader looks like. Exactly like Coconut Head. So I think this battle is going to be pretty easy. We have a fire type and a flying type against a bunch of grass Pokemon, so hopefully we can do it pretty easily. First turn, he pretends to not notice. Second turn, he also pretends to not notice again. Third turn, we finally do land a flame charge, and it does OHKO. So very helpful. Our speed is also raised, which should help us at the upcoming Pokemon. So she sends in Turtwig. We hit him with another flame charge, but Loafs around. They do get a reflect setup, which isn't good for us. We hit him with Ember, and it does about 2/3 damage. He's setting up. Ponyta turns away, does a little bit of damage to us, not crazy amount. Nothing that turn, and turns away again. And the reflect does wear off, but I decide to heal. And he hits us with a Razor Leaf. Doesn't do crazy amount of damage. They do set up another reflect. And finally, I am able to land. After 6 turns of nothing and healing and disobeying, I'm finally able to land a flame charge. After 9 turns of not landing a single attack, I finally take him out. So she's down to her last Pokemon, which is a Roserade. And I lead off with, yet again, another disobeying attack. And I'm now paralyzed, which is going to make it even harder for us to hit. So she goes into a Grass Knot, doesn't do hardly any damage. We hit a Flame Charge, doesn't even do half because of the reflect. Loafing around, she hits us with a Grass Knot again and does manage to take us out this turn. And the reflect just wore off. So we decided to go into Nightwing here and hit a wing attack, hopefully. It does land and he does knock her out. So that will give us our second gym badge, which is pretty helpful because at least it does give us a little bit more room to where we can push back our obedience level. And Rocky learns Bulldoze here, which is a pretty good move for this level. It gets stab and it lowers their speed. So there's our second gym badge. So from here we head to, see there, up until level 30, our Pokemon will now obey us. So that's pretty huge, and we obtain Grass Knot. So here we head to Team Galactic Quarter. We battle the infinite amount of grunts here, because it seems like every turn you take, there's 15 grunts to fight. So take those out, take out the scientist, and we head upstairs to battle another one of the Galactic Commanders and try to save this back sharp on her. So she leads out with Zubat. I lead out with Geico, who is now evolved into Grovyle. And I lead off with a Night Slash. It does land, doesn't even do half damage. He hits me, super effective, and gives me a poison. So this is not a good start. So I decided to switch into Sparks. Let's see if I can just get a lucky one shot. He gets a crit, still doesn't do much damage. I easily able to take him out with a Spark. So she decides to bring in a Skuntank. I will switch in Hulk here. Hopefully get a low sweep or 2 off. At least lower the speed, if not kill. Hits me with a Flamethrower. I'm able to tank that. Hit her with a low sweep, lower the speed. She goes for a Flamethrower again, and it does take me out this turn. But at least we got 1 stage of speed lowered. So here we go into Rocky. See if he can manage to take her out with the Bulldoze. Use a Scald. Gets me slightly under half. And hit her with a Bulldoze. Oh, and she barely hangs on in the red. She does consume the berry. Now she's about 1/3 HP. But her speed is now lowered 2 stages. Rocky does hang on and is able to take her out. So that's a very good fight from Rocky right there. Very good battle. And we have defeated Commander Jupiter. So we save the bike shop on her. We do go pick up our bike and we head south. We meet up with Dawn. She gives us the Versus Seeker, which can be very useful later on between getting extra money or needed levels. So we head into Mount Moon, and here we meet up with the oldest looking 27-year-old in the history of ever. So Cyrus looks like he's 50, but according to the description, he's 27. I don't know. So we head to Hearthome, and we stop this escaping Baneri, and this ever grateful trainer thanks us and tells us to come meet her at the contest hall. So we go to the contest hall, we meet up with Fantina, and then we go inside, we meet our mom and the girl whose Baneri we just saved. Our mom gives us a tuxedo so that we can look very snazzy, and then she leaves. So we head south, we meet up with our rival. Here we're gonna face our rival, and this is our first real rival battle of the game. There was one earlier, but skip that because of the Turtwig thing. So this is our first real challenge. So I lead off with Hulk, he leads off with Starly. I immediately switch in to Sparks, so I'll have the type advantage there. So Starly hits us, doesn't do that much damage, hits us with a quick attack. I use Spark, and I'm able to OHKO it. So gaining some levels. He's switching into Bazool. I'll just go ahead and stay into Sparks here and hit him with another Spark and see if I can't take it out. Use Tail Whip, and Spark hits, and I am able to OHKO the Bazool as well. So he learns Giga Drain here, which is a pretty good stab move in this game, especially because it restores your health. He's going to switch in Roselia, so I'm going to switch into Blue Flare and see if I can't just OHKO it with a flame charge. I do land, and it does OHKO the Roselia, so that's 3 Pokemon and 3 OHKOs. Let's see if we can go 4 for 4. So I know he's going to bring in Monferno, so I'm just going to go ahead and switch into Rocky. I know he's fighting, and he'll have the type advantage, but I know Rocky's defense is great enough to withstand that, and then I can just use a Bulldoze. So he goes for Mach Punch, does nothing, and I hit a Bulldoze, and I am able to OHKO him. So that's 4 Pokemon and 4 OHKOs. So that was a very easy fight to be our first tested fight of the game. It was super easy. And now, after that fight, Rocky actually does evolve. So we'll get our first look at the shiny Graveler, which I think it looks pretty good. If I had to say my favorite, Geodude is my favorite. It's the most vibrant and gold, but the Graveler looks pretty awesome as well. So we head along our journey. We do stop by the ancient ruins and pick up all 4 of these, including the rare candy. Then we head to Veilstone City. We pick up Shockwave, teach that to Sparks, and now Hulk is evolving. So we'll get our first look at the Machop shiny sprite, which looks very cool, and you'll kind of see where I got the idea from his name. As he evolves, he becomes more and more green, thus the Hulk. So now, since we have 2 trade evolutions, we go ahead and trade for those. We have Machamp, which looks really cool, especially being as green as he is, and the name Hulk. And now we'll also bring over Golem, who is actually an underwhelming shiny in my opinion. With how good the first 2 stages look, Golem's kind of just meh, but you live it, you just gotta deal with it. So we head to the 3rd gym to face Maylene. So we'll see what type of fight she can put up during this battle. So not too worried, but she sends out a Meditite. We start off with Hulk, and let's just see if we can use sheer force and just win the battle, knock him straight down. So we go for knockoff. It does OHKO. I was not expecting that to happen, but I was just trying to knock off an item or a berry, but it actually does land and it OHKOs. So cannot complain about that. So she's going to send in a Machop of her own, and we are going to low sleep it. It barely holds on, but we lower the speed. He lowers our speed in return. She's going to heal. We're going to low sweep. Gets them basically to the exact same spot as before. She's going to heal again. We're going to low sweep again. Same spot. But she's out of heals now, and we are able to get the knockout. So she has 1 Pokemon left. We do teach Hulk strength just in case we ever need a normal type move for some reason. So she does send out a Lucario, which I will then switch into Nightwing, which in hindsight wasn't a very good switch in, but at the time, uses Drain Punch. I live on 12 HP. Wing attack basically does nothing, and she does KO me with a Drain Punch to get a little health back. So after that, I do switch into Blue Flare because super effective, and I try a Flame Wheel. Hits me with a Drain Punch. I live with 3 HP. I hit him with a Flame Wheel, and it does get him below half, but not what I was hoping. I was hoping for death. I decided to just keep Blue Flare in, sacrifice him. I knew his Drain Punch wouldn't heal him much, and now I'll get a free switch in to Hulk. So Hulk, I'm just gonna low sweep, see what type of damage I can do. His Drain Punch doesn't do a whole lot. I go ahead and low sweep him, and I do get the knockout. So this is a pretty good gym badge to pick up, as our level cap will increase slightly, but this is actually the biggest the biggest struggle with that in the game is between Gym 3 and Gym 4, because the level cap doesn't change a whole lot, and there is a lot of gameplay in between the two. So trying to keep your Pokemon under the level cap needed for them to obey you in between these two gyms is actually a pretty big struggle. So we go up here, we help Dawn get her Pokedex back from Team Galactic Grunts, and then we head on to Pastoria City. We find Dig, which we teach to Rocky. We find the Sweet Key and give it to this irresponsible lady. She does reward us with a lava cookie, which is a bit underwhelming, but hey, what are you gonna do? Free gift is a free gift for just trying to help somebody. So we arrive at the 4th gym, and now we are ready to take on Crasher Wake. So this should be one of the easier challenges or gym badges, as long as our Pokemon stayed under the level cap, so they'll actually obey us. So let's see what happens. So he leads Gyarados, I leave Geico. He immediately gets the Intimidate. So I go ahead and I'm just like, well, I'll just go ahead and switch into Sparks, because I know he might have Ice Fang or something of that sort. And he does get the lucky freeze, which I didn't go ahead and just use the lava cookie that we just picked up. So that was actually very useful. He uses a crunch, doesn't do a whole lot of damage. I hit him with a Thunderbolt, and that's all she wrote for Gyarados. I actually do get the crit, but I don't think it would have been needed. I think he would have went down anyways. So now he's learning Volt Switch, which I do delete Charge in order to learn Volt Switch, because it is more tactical. So I can now lead with Sparks, just get Volt Switch, get some free damage off, and then make a free switch. So he's going to bring out Quagsire. I'm going to bring out Geico for the 4 times type advantage. And I'm just going to hit him with a Giga Drain. And he's going to go down just like that with 1 shot. And so now he's going to bring in a Floatzel. I stupidly do leave Geico in there. I forgot that he can also have Ice Fang. Hits me with the Ice Fang, knocks me out 1 shot. So I do switch into Sparks again, and then I decide to use Thunderbolt. Let's see if we can OHKO it, or if it will live. Uses Brine, does no damage. I don't connect, and he is able to take me out. See, that's where the disobedience is playing a factor right here, because he was unable to listen. So he Ice Fangs, doesn't hit. He doesn't obey again. I use Low Sweep. This time it does connect, and he does get the OHKO, which is very, very good, because with the disobedience and not obeying, who knows how that fight would have went had we kept on. So after that fight, I use some rare candies on Geico. He does evolve. So this is our first look at Sceptile, which is a very, very clean looking shiny. Very, very clean. So we go run over here. We stop this grunt from trying to blow up the Safari Zone, and then we chase after him. And now he runs away, and lo and behold, our rival shows up, ready. See if he can redeem himself from that first battle where we literally OHKO'd his entire team. So he leads with Starly, I lead with Geico. I can probably be fine, so I just go ahead and use a dual chop, and actually just the one hit of the 2-hit dual chop takes him out. So he switches into my Inferno. I'm going to go ahead and switch into Rocky, which is now a Golem, even tankier. He's going to hit us with a Power Up Punch. Does nothing. I'm going to hit him with a Bulldoze, and it does Oko. So very easy. It's 2 Pokemon and 2 Okos for this battle as well. So starting off the same, I'm going to go Roselia. I'm going to switch into Blue Flare, see if I can get another Oko. So I'm going to use Flame Wheel, and it does Oko. So that's 3 for 3. He's going to switch into Bazool. I'm going to go into Sparks here, hit him with a Thunderbolt, and see if we can go 4 for 4 on Okos once again. So he uses Aqua Jet, does no damage, and I do get the Oko. So that's 4 for 4 again. So 8 straight Pokemon and 8 straight Okos for Barry. He is struggling mightily. So we finally do chase down the bomb guy. We do battle him. He sends out a Glameow. We'll send out Blue Flare, and we should make some quick work of this Glameow. We hit him with a Flamethrower, and it does Oko. So very easy battle there. He gets scared, makes excuses why he's lost, and now he runs away. So we do walk up a little bit, and we do meet Cynthia for the second time in the game, and she tells us about these Psyducks that are sick and need some medicine. So we head over there as fast as we can to go give the Psyduck the medicine, and then instead of saying thank you, they just run away scared. So then Cynthia comes up to give us another task. She wants us to deliver this old charm to one of the elders in Celestic City. And like a dummy, I didn't get defog, so I ran around for 30 minutes while this is my screen for 30 minutes while I tried to find my way. And after 30 minutes, I do finally find my way through and arrive. So I meet the older lady. We tried to get into the ruins, but this grunt's blocking it. I took him out really quickly, and then she comes and meets us. I give her the old charm, and now she shows us inside the room. So it is a mural of the 3 mythical Pokemon, and she does give us the TM95 for Surf, which is a pretty good TM. And now we go to exit the ruin, and who are we greeted by? None other than Cyrus, basically telling us to back off and don't interrupt with his plan. So after that, we do head over to Hearthome once again to get our 5th gym badge, and it's against Fantina. So let's see how this is going to go. She leads with Driftblim. I lead with Nightwing. So I do have Assurance, but I'm not sure how much damage that's going to do. So I do lead with Assurance. It does about 2/3 modest damage. Driftblim uses Fly, so I just go ahead and use Fly as well. So he misses, and mine does land. So I am able to Oko or knock him out. I do take a little bit of aftermath damage, but it's nothing serious. She's going to switch in a Gengar. I'm going to use Assurance again, but he Dazzling Gleams and is able to knock me out. So I'm going to switch into Geico because he knows Night Slash. So I'm going to go ahead and use Night Slash, but he has a berry that weakens the ability or the damage of Dark moves for the first try. And then he has Curse Body, which disables my Night Slash. So I now have no Night Slash, and I am confused. So I'll just go ahead and use Leaf Storm. It does not get the knockout, and now my special attack lowers, hits us with a Sludge Bomb, and takes us out. So then I switch into Machop, who does no knockoff. She heals up, but I'm able to land the knockoff and get the Oko. And so now she is down to, I believe, her last Pokemon, which is a Miss Magius. I'm just going to keep in Hulk here and hit a knockoff. She does confuse. Let's see if I'm able to overcome it. I am not. So hit knockoff again, and this time it does land and knock it out. So this is part 1 of this playthrough. There will be 2 parts, maybe 3 depending on how long I can get them edited down. But if you enjoy this type of content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, because there will be more content like this on my channel. So if you enjoy it, I welcome you to come back and spend time with us, and just leave us some good comments, feedback, good criticism in the comments, and please check out my other videos.